Alrighty. Hello everyone. Alright, this is gonna be the last trail stream for real. But yeah, today is gonna be the somewhat rare, somewhat odd chat stream. Yep, that's right. We're going to talk about the ending. And I guess my overall thoughts on Trails, or Horizon, and maybe Trails in general, where it's like, where could this go forward from here? Because, I'm still kind of stewing in thoughts about the ending. But, well, this is the end. Okay. Man. And I can't believe it. I actually did it. It's the end. I mean, I know we're back here in a time before everything kinda, sorta went to shit. But, let's forget all about that. Just for a second. Let us talk about, you know, I might need to lower the music so I can flesh out my own thoughts more. Okay, there we go. So, yeah. So that ending. Oh, holy shit. Let's just start with that. Then we can go into all the other things I want to discuss in the next, like, 2-ish plus hours. I'm just running around because I feel better controlling instead of standing still, I suppose. And I know we aren't Van right now, but, bear with me here. Maybe this would be better. No, I need it at the garden, though. That's kind of the problem. Anyway. So, that ending. Holy shit, that ending. Wow. I thought the heroes losing in CS3 was bad. I thought Estelle and Joshua's crazy ending was bad. Oh no, they got nothing on this game. Absolutely nothing. And the thing is, I think someone brought it up. Most of this game is frustratingly spent trying to keep Arc Ride Solutions away from the truth for as long as they can. Because I think if Van had wind of what was actually going on, they might have been able to stop Gramhart and rethink the plan a little bit. Because, quite frankly, to be fair, in all statistical odds, trying to just nuke the Septarian of Time and sending one mecha is kinda far-fetched. Like, for one, you see how many of them slip past the defense line and into the world itself? Terrible, just terrible. And, okay, nobody could have predicted Zoa Gilstein, but you really should have had, like, a squad of mecha pilots. One, it's like, Amelia is not a fucking Armored Core for Answer pilot. Or something crazy like that. She's no Galm 1. She's just a gal. A really, you know, crazily skilled gal, but she's just a gal. So, yeah. Good job, Gramhart. But yeah, no, it's like, okay, and I guess even if Van got wind of it earlier, holy shit, the way he tries to convince Gramhart is like if I rolled -1s on a d20 with my speech check. Good lord, Van. You could have thought of something better. Like, come on, really? My 4 SPGs? My 4 spaghettis? Agnes is my, client? I mean, Agnes is my best employee. It's like, the dad angle almost worked! You should have just done the dad angle earlier and just built off from there. God damn it, Van. You freaking had it. You just had it too late. You Although you have to wonder. Of course, due to the writing, I think the heroes were meant to fail the first round, the first go-about, just to have that ending. We can't have too much logic in Kiseki, even though it's like, this series could use a little bit better logic, but that's besides the point. Oh man. Dude. The Skype call, I'm a little mixed on the Skype calls. The Skype call, but to be fair, no one was thinking. Everyone was desperate for Agnes not to erase herself, even though the world's ending and everything's fucked, so there's not gonna be a retry until, like, thousands of years later. And that's the thing. Will they even remember each other? Will things play out the same? Or will something be different? Like, I don't know, Reen joins Ouroboros. Or some shit. Yeah, no, maybe in the next timeline, Reen joins Ouroboros and gets trained by the Stahlritter and Luve or some utter hodgepodge. So it's like, it's frustrating, but the Hamilton plan was, like, the plan they needed. It's just the price really fucking blows. And man, Renee, what was the point of showboating like that? Like, in Kai 2, I better get to sock the guy in the face. I swear. And it's like, to be fair, Van and Co. were kinda adapting to him, too, for a little bit, before he pulled out the, I shall pull a bunch of myselves, like Demon Bane. Like, bro, what? Okay, sure, I guess? I really hope they explain that whole Grendel Shaddai shit, because, wow, that just came out of nowhere. That just came out of nowhere. That's some bullshit. Absolute horseshit. Like, wow, okay. I know I joked about it with a viewer, like, back when I first got this ending, but it's like, Dog. Do not let Grendel become a Keyblade. Next thing you know, I don't know, Rain gets a Grendel? I know it was, like, speculated, like, hey, maybe Elaine gets the Grendel next time. And what's next? Elaine just becomes a Spriggan too because the law is too limiting and you wanna live dangerously like Van? Okay, that'd be kinda stupid as a plot twist, but I'll take it. See, this is why you shouldn't put me in charge of, you know, writing a story. It's just gonna end in complete disaster. But yeah, a little more on that ending. I think the ending made me a freaking Gramhart stan. Or, to some extent, it's like, I think Graham Hart had the right idea. He had the right idea. He just was he was way too hasty with said idea. The fact that the Excalibur already appeared on this timeline, yeah, I guess that meant the plan was borked. Which puts into questions a lot of things about the artifacts we've seen throughout this series, like the Sonorous Shell, or the Chronos Rod, the Recluse Cube. Were they all from failed timelines too? And okay, I'm gonna save this theory for the theory section that I'll probably have to, like, timestamp when I get around to checking up on this video again, but for now, let's see. Okay, for now, I guess let's just keep chatting about the ending a bit more. Like, I was on board with Graham Hart's idea, but, yeah, a bit too hasty. I will say, the way that... It's like, I know it's, like, a failsafe, but wow. The way Hamilton just kinda eggs on Yes into doing this, and the way, like, all those powerful people just watched fucking Granny Lancer just watches a girl, you know, die and kind of helps with that. It's like, it's the right cause, but it feels really slimy nonetheless. Renee, too, it's like, holy shit. This ending really makes me just want to take Renee and get 4 turns of Zoc with zillion punches. Cause, fuck this guy. It's so bullshit. And it's like, oh, wait, no. There was this post on Twitter with, like, okay, out of these 4, which ones had the best friendship? It was, like, Chloe and Estelle, Randy and Lloyd, Reen, Eustace, and Van and Renee. And I'm like, oh, hell no. Definitely not the 4th one. Fuck no, not after this ending. No, Van, go sock the guy. Terrible. I want to say there's some, like, undertone implications, or rather, this is wild fan theory, that Renee actually wants Elaine because Van just keeps dropping the ball. And I'm like, are you really gonna turn this into a very bizarre, time-studded Macross fucking love triangle? Why? I have to say, honestly, it's like, I understand what Hamilton is going for, but I hope she gets her comeuppance. And I think after this game, I might have more respect for Albert and Schmidt. Because at least they didn't do something as ridiculous as, like, pulling water from an alternative timeline and possibly fucking up Zemiria, even if they win against the Time Cube. Because I'm pretty sure the Time Cube, like, it's implied it's protecting them from the Beyond. Whatever is from the Beyond. And it's like, if there's a bunch of crazy people like McBurn tier from the Beyond, our heroes are kinda in trouble. So yeah, it has me having more respect for, like, Hamilton and Schmidt. I mean, no, not Hamilton and Schmidt. Schmidt and Albert. Because at least they aren't complete frauds. Wow, that sounded kind of mean, but it's like, geez, just how many other things were mostly like, how much did she coat ride Epstein? Because the other two, I want to say they've made genuine inventions and things. But Hamilton, I haven't seen anything significant from her other than the Tharbad thing, but that turns out to be a lie. And I think the thing they did in Elsheim is also a crazy lie, which is why Sharid and co are protecting her. So it's like, duh. Boy, I hope there's a Ketra and Hamilton confrontation in the next game. There definitely needs to be one. Same with Judith and her grandma, where it's actually not played for laughs. But yeah, other than that, the ending, oof, that's rough. But I will say, though, that final fight with Shaddai, even though it was kind of bullshit how Renee got it, that final fight was great. Especially the teleport to the asteroid, like, beat-em-up fest. I legit thought this was gonna turn into a Neo boss fight where I actually have to, like, try. Van has, like, limited regeneration, so you can actually just game over on this part if you suck. Although I think that might not actually be fair to people who are, well, genuinely shot in the reflex department. So, I don't know if they should keep doing that. Even though it was pretty cool in this, it was definitely pretty cool in Daybreak 2 also. I will say in the next one, I hope Van gets a Grendel power-up. This man is long due for one. 'Cause it's honestly impressive that he keeps up with all these freaks with base Grendel. And we know apparently Shin Grendel can match toe-to-toe with super dark sword amped Shizuna? So it's like, damn it, man. Come on, Van, get another upgrade. Okay, this isn't right. This isn't right. We need to stare at Van and company. So you know what? Why not? Let's run around Edith. Fuck it. While I yap about this ending some more. I think the big section's gonna be the theory crafting session, because I do have a bunch of theories about where this could go next. Well, I think I've said all I wanted to about the ending, so let's just, Yeah, I think I've said everything I could have said about the ending, so let's talk about the overall story, the route, the pacing. I wanna say Van Route 1 kinda sucks. I really wish there was, like, a shorter Van Route 1 while we got, like, a Reen Route 1 and Kevin Route 1 and just had them have, like, 4 chapters each. Or some shit. I really wish this worked more like Reverie, where, in Reverie, 2 branches intersect each other quite often to solve, like, various puzzles. Like, I think there's a section in Crossbell where Lloyd gets stuck. It was either Lloyd or Rufus, depending on who you start with. But one of them gets stuck, and the other has to help them through a simultaneous hack. And to do that, you need to, like, get the other route's person up until that point. I really wish we had those kind of interactions in this one. Sadly, I don't know how we could with how the story's written and how everyone has their own objectives, trying to keep secrets from each other, etc., but I really hope in the next game they have some cool route interactivity like that. But overall, I can understand being very tired of Edith by the end of Van Route 1. Shit, I was tired of Edith. It's like, I don't know. We've spent 3 games in this city. And I think maybe I've reached the point of fatigue with NPC talk where I'll do it begrudgingly, but New Game Plus feels like a breath of fresh air because I can finally just skip, just not think about it anymore, just mosey along, do quests and other things. So yeah, Van Route 1, it's a bit of dilly-dallying. I wouldn't say it's completely filler, the Connect events are great. Personally, I like the movie thing, even though it is kind of weak. What I have a real problem is, oh wait, we should probably talk about this next part in the gameplay section. Not now, we're still talking story, now that I've yapped about the ending to a nonsensical end. So, yeah, back to the story. Van Route 1 was... I think it was alright, but it definitely gets a lot better once Yorda's in the party and you're doing the night run. Although there's still some, like, decent lore things in, like, the first 2 routing parts. Like, wow, okay, I guess Jin is actually the owner of the, Black Light District. What the heck? But yeah, I can see why people like Kevin and Reen's routes, where you get the mind-blowing truths and crazy bombshells. Like, Reen's route gets the whole, the sky is not real. Kevin's gives you a reason why he's hunting Hamilton. And also his kind of character regression. But I think no. I did see another review where let's do a battle. I'm itching for a battle.
Let's be on our way.
Even though it's kind of gonna be just, you know, a clear, easy line. But let's just do a battle for old time's sake. Okay. So, yeah. Right, what was I gonna say about this? So yeah. The Reen and Kevin routes give you the crazy lore bombs and payoffs for said lore bombs. Van's is a slow burn that kinda starts picking up by Van 3. The rejection scene with Agnes was handled well, but the ending kinda throws a bit of a wrench in that one, where it's like, Van, would you have actually accepted if she was in the traveling clothes? I mean, I can't argue with Van that she looks infinitely better in those, but come on now, Van. Van, you've been complaining about people leering like this for the last 2 games. Why are you the exception? Okay, let's just kill this thing and go home.
Take care. That's above an A-level threat. Just say the word. No, you won't. What? Miss Lancer! It's go time! Activating skill! The boost gauge limit has been raised!
Don't you just love New Game Plus? I sure do.
I hope I was of assistance.
Mira deposit confirmed!
You know what? I hope I can max my law rank. in this stream too. That'd be nice.
Setting out.
But, yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, right. Yeah, I think after Van Route 4, a lot of things kind of start popping off. As soon as they get to Anchorville. Like, that's when Van's group starts getting those interesting encounters. Like the, well, okay, I say that, but Van Route 3 was interesting at the end. I'll admit. Ooh.
If I may trouble you a moment.
Let me ask you something.
Alright, I'm probably just gonna skip this one. Since we've already done it, you guys can go backwards and see my actual playthrough. This is just me just trying to formulate something here. I know it's a little distracting, so I'll skip the cutscene once it loads.
That's one job behind us.
Reward deposited.
Damn, pushing this thing to max is gonna suck. But, anyways, back to it. Right. So we're still talking about the other routes. I will say, out of all the things I said about the other routes, though, I think Tharbad kind of puts me to sleep just a bit. I blame the desert design, honestly, it's kind of like Nord Highlands. But maybe I just don't like riding around empty fields that much. That being said, though, the sand tower at the end of Kevin Route 2 is great. Like, damn. Actually, no. Kevin's route also has a bit of a slow burn. I'll admit, I probably should have held back on the fight with Kevin. Because, and this is going to be a fault of mine throughout this whole run, I heard rumblings of Kevin being a very hard boss fight because he gets Zoc every turn and can kind of fuck your party up pretty bad. So I did what any old dingus would do. I kind of dry-runned it with, like, a decently built Swin and Nadia, and was kinda winning. So hard that I was about to skip his S-Craft. So it's like, never mind. Let's calm down and not kill that hard. I think the next game, they probably should nerf Altera. It's ridiculous. I want to say by proxy maybe Potter Modder, but Potter Modder makes nightmare fights fair. Especially the ones where you're fighting multiple Zoc users. It makes it a lot easier to think and deal with and recover than, you know, doing this outright and just kind of dying, I think. Anyway, back to the story. We're about to go into the gameplay soon, I promise. But back to the story. Things get great on Van Route 5, 6, and the finale for him. Kevin's route. Route 1's kind of Route 2, pretty good. Route 3 is, I want to say, a mix of it's great and a mix of what was the point? Is what I kind of found myself asking at the end there. It's like, what do you mean test of resolve? If this was more of a desperate attempt of everybody trying to stop Kevin from doing his mission. Like, okay, I have a really stupid fanfic setup that honestly makes Kevin look like a shrewd Mary Sue or some utter nonsense. But it's like, how I would have done this is like, alright, so no one's really for Kevin doing the whole Hamilton shtick. So, instead of Risha and Lucrezia being there to test your resolve, they're there to legitimately stop you from completing your task. And you have to beat your way past them. And you knock them out cold. Go to Cray Village. Have a bit of downtime or some shit. But there has to be like an urgency where there's not that much talking to anyone and you just kind of have to go, or else they'll catch up with you and try to stop your mission again. So that route could have used that kind of sense of urgency. And like, you make it to the final fight with the two Dominions, Prince Sharid and Najee. And it's like, you do that final fight. And then you could have had something where it's like, Kevin whips out the crossbow. The other two try to stop him, but due to him being super enhanced by, like, Akashic Eye and double stigmas, he just, like, shoots their weapons out of their hands and, like, goes for the kills. But then Nadia tries to use her Zypha, but it turns out Kevin saw this coming and kind of sabotaged her. It's like, oh no, Kevin's actually gonna do it. He's gone through all the stops to ensure that he can do it. And then it's like, wait, that just makes him copping out even worse. God fucking damn it. There is no way to fix this! Ah! Ha ha! I thought I was onto something, and then I wasn't. There is... Like, the end of Kevin Route 3 is like... If Kevin pulled the trigger, would he actually have succeeded? That's the crazy thing. It feels like he wouldn't anyways, since he'll probably just get kind of wrecked by the vestiges, and he'll probably lose the respect of everyone in the picnicking front. So, yeah. I don't think Rufus is gonna side with Kevin when Lapis clearly wouldn't want to after this event. Huh. Oh dear. Whew. I'm expending all my energy. So let's go to Reen Route 3. Now, Reen Route's ending... I'll be honest, maybe they're right. Reen's route gets super carried by familiar Cold Steel characters. Like, you actually just straight up have all the fan favorites. You have Fee, you have Altina, you have Crow. That's a slam dunk. That's a winning group if I ever had to make one. You have the winning group and their great synergy with each other. Oh wait, I almost forgot Toa. Right, so yeah, no, still, winning group right here. Maybe I shouldn't have done this while I'm exhausted from the job. But anyway. So yeah. I want to say Reen also finds out some crazy bombshells, and in a different Discord server I was in, there was a person that tossed around the theory that Reen was starting to awaken his omniscient eye on this route. Which, do we really need to give Reen more crazy, goofy superpowers? It's like at this point he'll get Grendel for some reason. That better not happen, by the way. I swear to me, Mum. If everyone could use Grendel for some weird-ass Grendel United Front... My god. This idea is giving me an aneurysm every time I try to flesh it out. I think if anything, if there is something I could see happening, it's Judith Scrimcat being boosted to the level of a Grendel. That's what I could see happening. Right. So yeah. Reen's route, I would argue, has a bit more than, just aura fights. But to be fair, the fights with Shizuna and Kafei, great stuff. In the cutscenes, anyways, because unfortunately, at that point, due to grinding 5,000 monsters, don't do this, by the way, and a bunch of other things, I had endgame quartz level Reen, and he just kind of mopped the floor with most of that fight. This makes me want to get to the combat section, but I'll probably have to get a coffee, because this one's going to be a yap fest through and through. But let's just keep going for the plot. I will say, I think Shizuna could have had a little bit more bite here. It's like she gets some cool fights, but I don't know. Well, okay, to be fair, I like that her final choice was not to go along with Kafei, but she wanted to join Van and his gang above all else. And it's like, this could be a start. The start of, like, a really interesting development with Shizuna, if we take it far enough. Because right now, it's like, yeah, she's kind of stealing Reen's beats here, to some extent. You know, the whole crazy good at sword fighting, to the point where she's better than Reen and kind of just sneak attacks him in Reverie and makes everyone think that Reen jobbed like all fuck. I say that, but when it comes to a straight fight, Reen was kind of holding his ground there. He just kind of sweat brows versus duality, but it's like, I think there's like a small section you can freeze where Shizuna's like it's on her face where she's like, oh no, Reen's packing a lot more heat than I thought he would be. Oh man, I really want to break down the choreography of like Daybreak, of Horizon fights, because the choreography is on point on Van and Reen's route. Why the fuck doesn't Kevin's route get any cool fight scenes, damn it? Like, come on. What do you mean you couldn't have a 2v1 ending sequence with, like, Kevin versus, Celise and amped up Leon? Where it's like, they're about to overwhelm him, but he pulls some hacks bullshit and just completely raffle pawns the other two at the last second. Because normally it's the villains doing that, so seeing Kevin pull that would be like, oh shit, he's going for broke. But no, we don't get anything that cool with Kevin's route. I appreciate the lore. I wish Kevin had some more aura moments, so to speak. I don't think Reen's is solely carried by the aura moments, but everyone's gonna remember Shizuna versus Reen and Reen versus Yun Kafai. Even though the turn base might be a different reality if you try a little too hard, like yours truly, but I think that's the result of playing Nightmare for keeps. Okay, so now we're back at square one. I've already talked about the ending with... Well, I do like how Van Route 6 goes. It's a lot of bombshells. Like the fact that Rosette might actually be from the... Well, no, she is from the future. And there's a looming theory that Shannon and Luis are either her parents or her grandparents. That's the crazy part. Although, honestly, I would like the parent theory to be true, because if that were the case, Rosette protecting them in the here and now is actually really heartwarming. Holy fuck. It's great. But yeah, no, Van Route 6. It's like, finally, some good food. Actually, no, the whole Anchorville section was like, finally, Van's Route is getting some real shit right here. And that final sequence where Team Arkwright are, need I repeat? Well, okay, with Harwood's help. They are beating back, like, crazy amped up versions of, like, either future selves or people from the past. They are overwhelming them with teamwork, and it's like, holy shit. This is great. Like, the way, like, Elaine holds off Melchior, and, like, how Van... I think Van flicks a coin at one of them again? It's been a hot minute. I forgot who he did this against. No, wait, no. Van comes in to uppercut, the Jaeger vestige, which at first I thought it was Ida. No, it's probably Future Fairy. It's probably a fairy that went along with the Kruga program and got merciless, and became a great warrior at a cost, probably. Oh dear. But anyways, that whole sequence, the bombshell that the vestiges are like a failsafe, the fact that Agnes might be plotting something with Dominique, it's like, damn. And Ketra getting the really tragic reveal that Hamilton might not be all he thought she was. Makes it a real bummer in retrospect. The last time Ketra ever speaks to Hamilton was on day 1 in the fountain. It's like, dang. Huh. But yeah. I will say though, the final dungeon rush to the Prez, it wasn't too bad. Mirabelle is a meh kind of boss. I don't really feel too much for Kata and Cody, so your mileage might vary there. And I guess one more thing for that part of the story, since we're at the end though. Or, actually no, there's a few more things I haven't spoke about the ending. I will say, the ending does a pretty good job of making you feel just how powerful Excalibur is, and you feel hella invincible during the turn-based portion. Especially with, like, Shizuna's Brave Order. Why can't I get that shit in-game? That's bullshit. But yeah, no. Like, you just tear through everything, and the plan is going well, and it's like... They do such a good job of letting you feel the power before having everything just crashing down and going to shit at the end. I really wish there was a more tangible goal with the Shaddai fight. I guess they were trying to stop him so they could stop Agnes. But, yeah. That fight could've... Well, actually, no. Maybe that was the best option they had for writing with that fight. Maybe. Ooh. Alrighty. I get the feeling we'll have more mech fights in the next one. Maybe? Or at least a couple more stages of Grendel mech fighting. Which I'd say that's okay. But other than that, I guess overall I liked the ending. The story pacing was a bit messy at times, where Van routes 1 through 3 feel like they could suffer from a bit of that fatigue. I'd say at least Van Route 2 is a little bit shorter in account for like Kevin Route 1 and Reen Route 1. So there is that silver lining. But other than that, it's also pretty easy to feel like nothing really happens in Kevin's route or Reen's route. Even though I blame the final boss fight for Kevin being part of that. Like, I don't know. I really wish that final fight was against, like, 3 supercharged vestiges. Where the Akashic Eye and double stigmas actually prove good enough to bring them down. Although that would be kind of crazy if that happened, since that means Kevin beat, like... Apparently those 3 are the 3 founders of Calvard, so Kevin beating all 3 in one go would be perhaps a little too nuts. Even though it's like, really? They're gonna bring back August? I hate that guy. That guy was terrible in Daybreak 2. Keep him shelved. Go away. I can feel the exhaustion setting in. So, I'll wrap up my story portion, and then we'll move on to the combat and gameplay portion, where I have a tier list. That's right, we have a combat tier list, based on basically my own experiences. Let's see if it's still there. I know I made one this morning, but... Oh no, it's probably gone. God damn it. Well, that sucks. Let me just set this one up, and then we'll probably switch the screen to this one. Good evening, Union. I just got done discussing the story. We're about to discuss the gameplay, then the crazy crackpot theories. Then I have a cover to work on right in front of you guys as I try to figure out how the fuck do I play Megumi no Uta on the harmonica. Spoilers! Yeah, that's the next one. That's the next one. But for now, my thoughts on the story, if I had to sum it up. Van's route takes quite a bit to get going, but once Van's route gets going, it's some good shit. Particularly, it really gets going on Van Route 3, I think. Reen's route, I think, just starts off good, period, and just... Reen's route probably has one of the better pacings. No, I have a harmonica. I'm just trying to figure out the notes, but I'll figure that out live, since this is going to be the very final Trails Beyond the Horizon stream, as I just let loose. Here's the thing, though, about the sheet music. None exist! Or none exist for the harmonica, so, yeah. I have to make them all up. That's the problem! I'm the sole creator of, like, at least 80 plus harmonica tabs at this point. This is ridiculous! Okay. My biting sarcasm aside. So yeah, back to it. Reen's route actually has the best pacing. Every part of his route always has something going on. And all the fights actually feel like they have a point to them, unlike Kevin's, or maybe if... Well, actually, no, Van's kind of has a point to all of his fights. But yeah, no, Reen's route has some good pacing. Kevin's route, I think it kinda... sorta... Kevin's route is a bit weird at the end, I think. Where it's like, there is a point, but the fights certainly make you think otherwise. I really wish there was more of a sense of urgency in his route. Or a sense of, like, it's Kevin versus everyone else. Because it feels like the Risha and Lucrezia fight should have been better done. But no. I will say, the ending is the biggest cliffhanger ever since FC, I think. Actually, no, third has a... Well, Cold Steel 3 also has a really bullshit cliffhanger. But yeah. Kevin Route 3... kinda eh. But I think Kevin's Route 1 and 2 were pretty solid, even though Tharbad is... it's alright. Kevin Route 3 is alright. I mean, 1 and 2 are alright. Well, actually, no. Kevin Route 1, getting to fight him was kinda hype, even though I made it look easy. Route 2, with that sand tower, the crazy revelation about Hamilton robbing water. Damn, that was some good stuff. It's just, I wish Route 3 really stuck the ending. I think that's all I could say about that one. And as for Van's route, I hate to say it, everything picks up as soon as Van leaves Edith for Anchorville. That's when all the good shit starts happening in terms of story. Final Domain in Garten was fun to farm. I didn't farm it much, but... we do have one more topic of story before I move on to the other part that people probably would rather forget. The gameplay and whatever. Well, the gameplay, balance, etc. section. The domain story. I'm glad they actually did something with it, because Merhian Garten was a waste. Grim Garten, on the other hand, Still a bit dull, but at least you could randomize the panels to like have it as long or short as you need it to be. S ranking was kind of ass, and I guess the arena fights were mostly okay. I did another run of Horizon, and for some reason I can't find that 14th orbital chest. Are you sure you checked the one at Anchorville's front entrance on the factory? Are you really sure you checked that one? Because that is probably the one that stumps everyone. If not, maybe it's the Kevin route one where it's under the ship? Or under Prince Sharid's ship. That might be the other one that stumps everyone. I think there was also one in, like, the future Anchorville place? I'm not really sure on that one. But yeah, the only one that I could think that might stump some people is the Anchorville one. I really wish I knew of another tricky one, because I got them all on my first run. And I'm pretty sure you got the one at Pubu Pass. There's no way you couldn't have not gotten that one, because you told me about Pubu Pass. So yeah, no, that Anchorville one was the only one I could think of. That's it. Unless it was like one of the earlier ones. I know there's like one in Edith that people might miss, maybe? Or it feels like there was one in Old Town. But my memory might be drawing blanks. There could also be another one in the Blacklight District, but I think you got that one, so I don't really know. Darn. I think I'm actually out of things to say. Oh wait, no. Right, I was talking about the Grim Garden. I will say everything leading up to Novartis is alright, but that bombshell from Novartis that he's just like Rosette. He's a person from a different part of the... No, he's from a different timeline, period. That's crazy. That has so many implications for a lot of other characters. Especially some of the more sketchy ones like Yun Kafai. But that one's going to be discussed in a very bizarre theory that I have for later. For now, I'm going to get some coffee to slap myself awake. Then we're gonna talk tier lists. We're going to talk... We're gonna talk tier lists. Mainly the Beyond the Horizon combat tier list. Let me test if this is working. Yeah, no, this is working. Okay, cool. We're going to talk combat and combat tier list. Yeah. I'll just put my other one on the other side. But yeah, the next topic, we're going to talk about the combat. Because I have a lot of, well, maybe not a lot of things to say about the combat, but probably more than most. Definitely more than most, since I played on Nightmare, where you either use the tactics or you die. You just flat out die. These bosses are unfair. They are some HP sponge motherfuckers that expect you to have some wild damage setups to win. Like, the people complaining about normal fucking normal. Oh no, they're not gonna like this horse shit. They're not gonna like any of this. I can see why CGI Inferno got tired of Nightmare. I can't blame him. But we'll be discussing that can of worms next. It's time for a short intermission. It's gonna be a short one, so I'm just gonna slap the BRB on my face and go run like the wind. Alright. Give me some prayers that I'll be awake enough to yap about the nonsensical combat. Alright, gang, we are back. I got the coffee. We're gonna be fine. Alright. We're gonna be okay. I'm not sleepy. But yeah, back to it. And before I go on to the combat, since we were here, that one boss fight was bullshit on me. Yeah, no. The final fight with Kevin is so horseshit. It's so bad if they get more than one turn first turn. If you have 2 or more members of their team getting triple Zoc turns, just quit the game and reload. It is not worth it to slug through that kind of disadvantage. And I think this brings me to the combat. I want to say, for the most part, this combat is fun, but there are some questionable design issues. For one, the team balancing feels honestly kinda off. Van gets all the good shit. Reen has a solid team. Kevin... Oh dear god, Kevin. Either you have to use some cursed-ass setup to make Nadia feel good.
I get to go shopping with Mommy.
Okay, so, yeah. You either, like... You have to... Actually, no. I can demonstrate this, actually. You want to know the most optimal... The most optimal of Nadia builds? I can demonstrate it right here. Hold on. You want to know the best way to build Nadia to do the stuff that you can do on, like... Ren, on... actually, yeah, on Ren, or, like, any better casters. Here. This is where things go to shit.
Shifting to maintenance mode.
For you see, Nadia has a fucking fire slot. What?
That's a single element slot.
You need to use the best quartz for freaking Fizz.
Skills modified.
Is it worth it? Probably, to be honest. Like, I'd argue this is actually probably pretty worth, all things considered. Because you can, do some decent stuff here. Though, this makes this one kinda goofy. It just doesn't make any sense.
Skills modified. Skills modified. Skills modified.
There you go. There you go. The best build I can come up with for this line. Instead of EP Cut 3, wouldn't the Goldia be actually just better? Honestly, they're the same thing. You don't really use your craft to... You don't really use your crafts to attack as,
Skills modified.
You don't really use the craft to attack as... Nadia, to be honest.
That's a single element slot. Skills modified. Skills modified.
But yeah, I'd probably try for something like this. But that's the problem with Nadia. She needs Prometheus to function. I mean, she is really good with Prometheus, but that's besides the point. Nadia and Swin, you have to try really fucking hard to make them, like, actually good. And even then, it's like... I've toyed around with the idea of maybe you could just build Rishia? Like, thinking about it, it's like, would building up Rishia actually just be better than using Swin for that fight? Because I don't know, it might be a possible thing. But yeah, no. I think this is a good segue to one of the issues with Horizon 3. I mean, Horizon, not Horizon 3. No one wants a Horizon 3. That's crazy. I did not accidentally predict the future. But anyways, back to it. Back to business. Yeah, that's the other issue. Bosses getting triple turns can be very devastating to new players. Especially the ones who want a bit more of a challenge, because I will say this, Horizon bites back. If you don't do things like in a specific way or have some bullshit orders, Horizon bites back pretty hard. And if you're not ready to deal with disorders with your own orders, holy shit, you're kinda fucked. Disorders suck. I mean, they've always sucked. You know how aggravating it is to get your Brave orders cancelled by a boss's bullshit order? And then it's like, if you don't have Kurt, Lloyd, or some other roundabout way to waste the boss's turn so you can do your orders, you're actually just screwed? At least, in Horizon, mercifully, you don't have to do any of that. You just need to waste their turn. Or rather, you just need to override with your own order, which is great. But herein lies the problem. It makes Elaine, Rufus, Crow, Agnes just turn into boost bar bots. Because, oh boy, trying to maintain the team without them is, well, I guess it's doable if you just spam, whatchamacallit, Zodiac sign. Wait, let me test how much Zodiac sign actually does.
Maintenance mode. This is nothing for me. This is nothing for me.
Let me go throw this in Reen slot for a second. I don't know how many boosts it gives you, but it's worth a shot. Hold on, let me just go test this. We're on the combat section. I need to know.
Let's begin our adventure. Charge!
I need to know how much this thing gives. So hold on a sec.
Beginning survey.
Here I go!
I'm up.
Be wary of rain sharks. Make a spectacle of them. Initiating drive.
You have this. My chance.
Oh fuck, it filled up 2 bars!
Certain arts will work better.
Go on the
You
attack.
can't hide anything from us.
I like where this is headed.
Later. Suck.
What's next?
Okay, never mind. You can do this without Elaine and Rufus and them. In fact, no, I guess that is what I did against the final fight with Renee. 'Cause I backloaded everyone into Team 2. You know what my team was for fight number 1? Ren, Judith, and Ketra. Okay, to be fair though, that's still actually a really good team if I think about it hard enough. Like, Ren is a good mage. Ketra has a good shield. Judith is Van Group's other best killer, I guess. No, wait, killer is the wrong word, but the other best physical DPS on Van's team. So, all in all... Yeah, never mind, I guess you could spam Zodiac sign, but that's also kind of boring, even though it's pretty fast. So... I don't know, I think for me... It felt more fun trying to get boost points. No, it felt more fun getting the Brave points in Cold Steel. Even though I guess at the end of the day, Lloyd was the sign of... Lloyd was just the sign of how Daybreak 2 and 3 were gonna end up. Because the most optimum way to use Lloyd is exactly what you do in Horizon. Just spam Burning Rage until you get full bar, and do whatever the fuck you wanted with all the Brave points you just got. This is about the same thing, just double Zoc, Elaine, or whoever of choice. and just boost twice and get 6 bars and go to town. In some respects, I want to say you could say the Zypha is actually more absurd than the Master Quartz system. Because, actually no. There's a good demonstration here, though. Look at this.
Nothing for me.
Prometheus. I just figured this out. Prometheus is formerly Valhalla, the Master Quartz that gives you 75% extra physical damage on full health. It's that in a fucking quartz. That's insane. Some of these other effects used to be Master Quartz related too. So, yeah, no, Zypha is a orbment function thing that lets you slot in multiple Master Quartz to utterly fuck over the enemy. Speaking of Lloyd, I've been keeping an eye on when Zero and Azure go on sale, either physically or digitally. What would you consider a fair price for when on sale? Are they even on sale right now? That's actually a good question here. Fuck! Azure's still $39? What is this? Damn it, they're both 30. Okay. I want to say, if you can get both Azure and Zero at like $25, that's a fair discount, I think. Ideally, you could get it for $20 each. That would be a great catch, but I don't think they're going to do a 50% discount on these two. As much as I would like to say they would, they're probably not. So, yeah. Back to this goofy explanation of the combat. Yeah, you could say Zyphas are absurd. You can slap pretty much all of the Master Quartz functions in one shot and go to town on some poor schmupp who can't see it coming.
You may leave this to me.
And slapping verses might as well just be slapping bells. It's the same damn thing. Except now you can combine verses with Edna as a quartz. Although, this leads me to the other point. I do like this elemental system. I like that it has something for everyone. Because the problem with this system specifically in Sky and Azure, the Fizz users get fucked. Fizz users just get no benefit other than stats from this. Maybe like Clock Up, but that's about it. And Clock Up is like easy to get. So they got nothing out of this Sepith value system. Not in Horizon. No, physicals actually get a tangible benefit if you build them up correctly.
This is nothing for me.
Like, see Reams here. I've optimized it to where I got both Busters and Burst Gain 2. This is big. This is like... I think if I do the math right, it's 20... Well, actually, yeah.
Select a type, would you?
Okay, so this gives 10% damage. This gives 10% damage.
Getting engagement. Time for you to focus yourself.
We should go on the
Certain
attack.
arts will work better.
Later,
Here I go.
sucker!
Take your point.
Come on. The fight is on. Here to help.
Okay, so yeah, look at this shit. Reen has
We should go on
3
the attack.
attack bonuses.
Go all in on him.
Here's a little more.
Don't bother. Take it from here, she's enough.
See you around. Take his foot.
Leave it to me.
Okay, so yeah. This is a good way to demonstrate this, actually.
This is nothing for me.
So yeah, no. It's fun to build your fizz in this game with the Sepith system, or the Sepith value, since you can aim to have crazy builds with, like, these kind of bonuses, or just grab whatever you really need out of it. But I think it does also kind of homogenize the builds, since if I figured anything out from most of Horizon's builds, this is including watching a lot of Rosalind Gaming's build, even though I've completely differentiated from him, but yeah, no. Yeah, so that's the other thing. At best, you want everyone with Beowulf if possible, but when building a character, you want a Buster here, a Impassion Guard, this fucking skill. This fucking skill is incredible. It's so busted that it swings the game into an even footing with crafts versus arts users in a way that none of the other games really have. Like, I'm gonna have to say, for most of Trails, arts dominates. Physical just gets kinda steadily better. You have a few odd cases like Alan Richard or Mech-Tita that could legitimately compete with your mages. And that's because Fizz has one advantage that it's always had for the longest of times.
Looking to adjust your orbits?
This, Cast 3. Fizz has always had Cast to just gut the casting times, and you will sling spells much faster than you can throw crafts. 99% of the time, that's actually the case, with like a couple of rare exceptions, like Richard's Ogre Cut, Joshua's Cloak and Dagger in the first two SCs. So, yeah, no, Magic has had the advantage for a long time. It sorta got kinda even with Cold Steel 1 and 2, but maybe that's more me, because I think Cold Steel 1 and 2 had very boring-ass magic. Cold Steel 3, you secretly think it's a craft game. It pushes to be a craft game with Thunderbolt delay and building up Brave points and all that, but no. Art still kind of wins out. But I guess Cold Steel 3 is more craft-friendly. Cold Steel 4, though... Oh dear. Cold Steel 4. They nerfed your ability to break the bar well with, They nerfed bar breaking, which sucks, but I guess it had to be done. They nerfed orders like, Thunderbolt from Kurt, so no more just whack him to death after downing. And I think this was where, with all those nerfs, Magic was better. Magic was just better in Cold Steel 4. Magic was so good, you want to know the best Reen build in that game? Reen's best build is not a craft build in Cold Steel 4. Oh no, Reen's best build was a fucking magic build with Elliot and Emma's final charms. That build was so good, it used to create zero delay. Zero delay spell slinging Reen that would make Toval look like a chump. That's how busted Magic was. When it's so busted, the MC wants to just do magic. And it kind of gets only worse in Reverie, where art support is at an all-time high, and if you get Olivier or Vita, you've effectively won the game. You can create whale mega nukes that hit 1 million damage. 1 million! It's nuts. So, bringing that back to the present, I thought Daybreak 1 and 2 were gonna change things. No, Magic still ends up being the most busted. Because of this skill right here. This skill carried Magic so hard for the first 2 games, it's insane. And the thing about Judgment Feather is, it used to stack with...
Just your ordnance? That's a single element slot.
Judgment Feather used to stack with Impede 3. It doesn't anymore. So, yeah, there you go. But yeah, that's the one thing I really like about Horizon. Ignore my rant about crafts versus magic for just a moment, or just get the TDLR. Get the TDLR. I'm glad that in this game, crafts are not only a viable option, they are thriving so fucking hard, it's insane.
This is nothing for me.
Because of this skill right here, A Rise Guard, or A Impassion Guard. I've watched too much Rosalind gaming. I'm sorry. But anyways, A Impassion Guard just cuts every craft in half. And if you level up your crafts, like yours truly did, I'm gonna use Pyrograph Slash to demonstrate this, because Pyrograph is absurdly powerful. This single craft here, it usually costs 45 CP. But
This is nothing for me.
thanks to A Impassion Guard, it only costs 15 CP. And it'll just refund back 30 of it. We're also discounting the CP you can get on hit, which is probably like another 2 or 3. If A Impassion Guard is done on a critical turn, it'll crit and give you back all 45. This one skill allows so many physicals, or the top tiers, to be an engine of destruction.
You may leave this. Do whatever you want, for all I care.
It might not be as good on Shizuna, but Shizuna's, Alright, so here's Shizuna's costs. They're pretty fucking expensive, right? 65 and 65? Well, with A Guard Rise, or A Impassion Guard. Hey historians, we're chatting about, this is a chat stream, I'm not playing jack shit today. Or not much of things. We're just chatting about, my final thoughts on Horizon. Don't worry, it won't be completely brainless. I do have something in store with one of the songs I'm gonna cover. Well, I wouldn't say any of this is brainless, but you're gonna have to entertain me, or rather, not entertain me, no. I'm gonna be a bit hysterical for the next, give it an hour. I'll probably run out of steam by then. But yeah, back to my ranting on A Guard, A Impassion Guard. Alright, so it cuts the skills down by 30. Now Shizuna's skills are costing 30 each, and she can spam much more. So, yeah. As for when I think Horizon 2 is gonna release, I'm gonna say... I wanna hope late next year? Late next year global? That'd be nice. Late next year global would be really nice. If I want to be, like, extra spicy? December? But there's no fucking way. That's stupid. They would not release this shit in December. as much as I'd like to hope for it, they wouldn't. But anyways, answering that, back to the crafts. Yeah, A-Guard Rise is busted. It's especially busted on Shizuna, it's busted on Rin. It is most certainly busted on Judith, where Stray Cats just comes for free. And it makes Shadow Excel cost a lot less too, so using these two in conjunction, you're going to tear your opponents apart with Judith. Hell, it makes Swin pretty usable. Yeah, no. A-Guard Rise is just amazing. It makes so many physical users compete with mages.
Shifting to Nathan. You may leave it. Looking to adjust your ordnance?
Though I am praising physicals quite a bit, but in truth, the mages aren't doing so bad either. Like, you can still get arc. Well, yeah, you can get Judgment Feather, you can get a Buster skill, and Absorbing Arts, so casters are still pretty strong. It's just that you also have monsters like... well, yeah, basically anyone with an Awakening benefits. And here's the other, maybe, balance issue, depending on how you feel about it. The disparity between awakened characters and non-awakened characters is crazy. Rin, Shizuna, Van, and Judith just outdamage anyone else you could think of. Like, Aaron? Nah. He's not catching up to this. Fairy, definitely not. No. Swin? Hell no! These two actually have Stigma Awakens too. I want to think that maybe they could be good, but I just don't find it worth using Leon and Sleaze. Sorry, game. But yeah, there's a huge disparity between Van, Rin, Shizuna, and Judith, and all the other options, like Bearguard's not gonna match this either. And I guess for one final gripe with the combat...
Don't worry. Shifting to Nathan. Don't. This is nothing for me.
Ultimate Wind is too powerful. It just cuts all of your delays by 80%, so you can sling at light speed with both spells and crafts. I think crafts benefit from this the most, since you can start having a lot of turns where you could just spam crazy powerful skills like Pyrograph Slash, or in Van's case, if you make your Van very fast, you have 2 turns of 4 actions. That's 8 moves you can use to just utterly destroy the enemy. It's disgusting. So yeah, Altera's gross. However, Potter Modder, I think Potter Modder is honestly it's a lifeline. I don't think you actually need this, but for fights like Kevin 3, you need this fucking skill. Or some kind of a guard, except Kevin's route has terrible shard command lists. The only good one is freaking... It's disgusting, but also beautiful. Like, if anyone wants to see what I'm talking about how gross this is, you guys should see, I think it was... Right, no. I think it was the part before the last part, where I was facing off against Renee's group the first time, I got a 500 hit combo. Let that sink in. A 500 hit combo with none of them being able to move. It's so gross. But Potomater, I think it's like the lesser of the evils. Sure, the guard's kind of ridiculous, and honestly, it could be nerfed. But when you're up against bosses that have 3 turns each, move right before you, and can outspeed you, Potomater is a life send. It's also very good because you don't know the boss's cutoff points. So, it's a safeguard measure. It's a safeguard against very unfair S-crafts that will one-shot your entire team, or put them at critical where they'll just get one shot anyways. Yeah. So, overall, I like this combat. I like that shard lines finally benefit physical users in a big way. It is fun trying to get the busters on everybody. Even though it does make every build kind of homogeneous, which is another underlying problem with Calvert's combat. The builds are pretty damn homogeneous. Once you've figured out your physical and mage, that's it. That's it. You've figured out everyone else's build, and what you should aim for, you just need to slot the right combos. Like, how did I slot? Did I even slot Ketra for this?
That's a single element slot.
Okay, never mind. I forgot what my Ketra build was. So this might be a bit. Hold on.
Skills altered.
So yeah, let's see if we can get busters and
Skills altered.
ah, damn. We're so off from arc feathers. Let's see if I can figure out this puzzle, though.
Skills altered. That's a single element slot. Skills altered. Skills altered.
Darn. Yeah, no, never mind. There's no winning with this one. Or maybe there was a way to win, but I'm too tired to...
That's a single element slot.
I'm getting a little too
Skills
tired.
altered. Skills altered.
I forget if there was a wind and an earth. Or earth wind. Doesn't feel like it was a thing. Never mind. Maybe there is no way of getting all 3 on Ketra. Or maybe I'm wrong. There could be a way. No, never mind. There's probably not really much of a way.
That's a single element slot.
Alright, I'm gonna forget about this. Never mind, but you can also see... Well... I guess there are some fringe cases like Ketra and, I know I've managed to build this on Ketra. Although, I guess to be fair, what I'm doing is... You could consider it actually part of the fun, to some degree. Even though it's like, yeah, there's no earth wind. So you're kinda boned. What if the solution really was just slot in? What if it was Jabberwocky?
Skills altered.
Was it Jabberwocky Calliope? Yeah, I'm trying to find the solution. And the solution is just kind of not happening, since there's no way to get...
Skills altered.
Oh wait, we already used the water... Wait. Yeah, no, never mind. I don't think there's any winning with Ketra for this one. Alright, never mind. That's enough of me playing around with balance and failing. But as you can see, there is some homogenization. Because you're always trying to go for, like, a certain quartz combo.
Don't worry.
Okay.
Citrus got your back.
You know what? I'm still too invested in solving this. Don't mind me, I'm going insane. I'm going real nuts right now. Trying to figure out the secret.
That's a single element slot. Skills altered.
Okay, you know what? Let's try to figure out the secret to this.
Skills altered. Skills altered.
Damn. Never mind. I think we're failing here.
Skills altered.
Was there an Earth Mirage? No. Yeah, no, we're not winning.
Don't worry. Citrus got your back.
Oh, wait, no. No, wait.
Skills altered. Skills altered.
Is this actually my solution to this? Sorry. I'm sneezing and I'm trying to make a very stupid build.
Skills
Okay,
altered.
nope, never mind. We have it. There it is. There's your actually kind of weird Ketra, but here you are. All you Ketra lovers. Oh, wait. I fucked up. I really fucked up. No! I missed out the Mind Breaker! I'm gonna cry. I missed out Mind Buster by a bunch of wind. No! Darn it. I had it. I was cooking. I was cooking so hard.
That's a single element slot.
I cry every time. I was cooking so hard, and then I completely just threw it all in the window.
Skills altered.
I threw it all away. And for what? For Manny?
New skill added.
Oh dear lord, don't tell me my solution is freaking... okay. That gets me Judgment Feather. But I don't think there's anything with 6 wind. No, there's no water with 6 wind. Yeah, nah, this is a bust. Never mind. I thought I had it, and then I lost it. Ah, what a fool I was.
Skills altered.
Oh wait, now I just lost... Yeah, I guess that's the thing about building around awkward slots.
Leave the adjustment.
Don't worry. Citrus got your back.
I forgot how I built Ketra, but I know I built Ketra to do something crazy. You know what? Maybe I'll just load this. I'll load this final battle slot up. Just for the build, just for the build. Okay, I think I've just demonstrated how awkward it is to build, and also how fun this combat is to build around too. So, I guess that's kind of a win-win. Oh, there it is.
You may leave this to me.
There we go. That's my magic bullet combo. Jabberwocky, Galadriel, March Hare, Konohana Sakuya. There you go. That's it. That's the ticket. This will give you all 3 skills. That's all I wanted to do. Okay, cool. let's go back to the garden. I don't want to do Shaddai twice. Okay, let's go back. That's enough of my insanity. I was trying to prove a point. I ended up proving a different point. And, well, now we're here. Oops. Wait, shit. I think this is the fucking Grendel fight. Oh no! Okay. Well, let's go back to before the final battle and all that in the garden. Things were about to get a little spicy there. Sorry that they couldn't be. Watch my actual playthrough for everything else. Okay, my insanity aside. I think we're about ready to segue into the tier list. I'll probably provide a lot of timestamps after this, but hear me out on this one. Shit, I've been so passionate about the combat, I forgot to drink my coffee. This is terrible. Okay, so yeah, I think Potter Modder is a greater, or rather, it's like it's an acceptable evil for Nightmare when you're facing against bosses that will dance all over you for 20 turns. You need a failsafe to beat these. Otherwise it makes no sense. So, it's time. Are you ready, gang? It's time for the tier list. Yeah! Okay. I'm too excited about this. But alright, here we go. Oh, wait. Let me type the categories. Okay, hold on. Let me add a... Let me add a tier. Alright, we're switching over to the next window. I don't know why the fuck I'm excited about a tier list, but here we are. Alright, you ready, gang? Because I sure am. It's tier list hours. Oh boy. Oh baby. It's the combat tier list by a complete bozo who only played Nightmare. Yeah! Woohoo! Okay, here we go. Alright, let's just pick at random and see what I actually think. Well, actually, that's a lie. Because there are a couple of characters... Let me change this tier list around a bit. So, this is just, the first tier is, you will use these. You'll figure out how to use them. They're just busted. It's insane. No questions. Especially with the right build. Okay. Alright. I don't know where to put the support tier. Shit. This is bad. I don't actually know where to put the support tier. So, yeah, let's go with, like, some random character. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. Here. I'll just do this right now. These are where I'll admit I did not use them. There was no incentive to really use these two. Risha and Zin I could understand. These two, honestly, just use Kevin. You would rather use Kevin in a garden situation 99% of the time before you even touch Celise and Leon. Unless you really like them that much, then... And I don't know, maybe they're a hidden good. I didn't use them much, so that's where they go. Now, everyone else, though, I've used at least once, and... Alright. Let's start with the worst. I'm sorry, Nine and Ness, you're going here. They can be good. It's really rough building them, and that's the problem. It's really rough building them. Like, you need a lot of the high-end tier resources, and that's the thing about Game 1. You're limited to 3 copies of the best quartz. Or 2 if you don't want to grind. So, fuck, I guess. So it's like, when you're down to that 1 copy of Konohana Sakuya, if you did Reen's route first, admittedly you should probably put it on Nadia, but you'd probably rather want to just put it on Kevin to boost his busted S-craft. So, yeah. Swin, marking sucks. Why is marking a thing? If they're gonna keep marking, have it be a damage amp or some shit. Like a 2-step damage amp for 75% damage? Could be something. Like, there is the idea of setting up crits for your mages, or Kevin, I guess? But it's just... I don't know. I don't even know if... No, he doesn't even have a self-buff. Although, I don't think you really need self-buffs, and I think buffs are just, not the most impactful thing in the Calvard arc. They're good to have around. And honestly, you can just triple cast Zodiac sign so fast that you'll have all the buffs right there at your fingertips. Damn, I wish Zodiac in Sky 1 and Sky... No, I wish Zodiac in Sky 2 and 3 was this good. Damn. Oh yeah, I guess that is a fun fact then. Zoc probably takes from Chrono Burst. Zodiac sign is probably an advanced form of Zodiac from the first games. Interesting, huh? Well, okay. Bizarre trivias aside. Swin is a rough build. Like, you could use him to double Zoc and chain hit up to 30 hits with his Chrono Blitz. That's the only feature that saves him from being a completely dismal character to use. So, that leaves pretty much everyone else. Let's get the... let's see. Let's do some picks. Some picks I know that are kinda controversial-ish. / I might have a different take on this one. Let's pick Fairy. Fairy, from all of the tier makers I've seen, or people who have tiered her, they tend to rate Fairy pretty badly. I want to disagree and put her in the solid. Fairy has a lot of things going for her, mainly the speed. She also has some decent support crafts, but strategic use. Actually, yeah, no, this is the big one. Her flame craft, or flame prayer craft, you know what, we can kind of demonstrate this right now. Let me switch back to the game for a hot minute. We're gonna demonstrate this. Since, I'm about to broaden your horizons. Okay, that was cheesy. I should go home. Okay. We're about to broaden your horizons with this. You ready, guys? You ready to put your guns on?
On my knee as the Black Rabbit. Charge!
Okay, here we go.
All right, look sharp, people.
Keep your distance as you're activating sharks.
Go at it full force.
Boost gauge.
Here, I'm just gonna...
Mighty slow. Be mindful about this.
Lose a cap off your boost.
Here goes!
Leave it to me.
All in a dip.
Deploying
I'm
sharks.
here to help. I'm here to help. Go right ahead.
Boost gauge limiter removed.
You got it.
Honor's mine. Come on.
Leave it to me.
Deploying sharks. Make a spectacle of them.
Take my lead.
So yeah, you notice how low their CP is right now?
Bear witness to me. That light may shine. Ishtar's blessing.
Boost gauge limit increased.
You think you can hide?
Okay, so... as you can see, Fairy gives
Where this is headed?
a shit ton of CP back.
Let's keep.
This kid is incredible. I think she's highly slept on for goofy strategies. Especially if your strategies involve... may we turn to our dearest maid and her very broken Scald Raider. That's right. This is Machias's turn advance. Except it also works on Rosette, so, there you go. Yeah, remember, like, people also sleep on Machias, and it's like history kind of repeating itself here to some extent, but, yeah, no. Fairy is incredible. Especially when you need much more than 30 CP to recharge the team, which can happen very often, actually. So, yeah, no, you just slot Fairy in, use Ishtar's blessings to just give everyone back an incredible amount of CP. Like, I think you get back 130 normally. That's still pretty big. That's more than enough to, like, if you set up Rosette right, you can charge her Scald Raider back up to near instant. That's insane. That's some value right there. Not to mention, this really helps out Van and Shizuna. Van and Shizuna eat CP like no tomorrow. Even with A-Guard Rise / Impassion Guard. They eat CP like no tomorrow. And you might just not have enough time to, you just might not get enough from, Lord Ordis, even though Lord Ordis can crit and you can just get 45 CP out of it instead of the normal 30, but still, Fairy is very slept on. Not to mention, to be fair, I've had a fondness for Fairy. I like her energy first and foremost, but that's more of a character thing. Anyways, this is a combat tier list, not a character tier list. I'll need you guys to keep that in mind. So, back to the tier list. No, Fairy goes into very solid. The Ishtar ability is great. She's also got a decent enough damage amp. I think 20's nothing to sneeze at. I think Fairy's also fast enough to just kind of spam her crafts, if you really wanted to do that. But no, Fairy is an excellent emergency battery. And honestly, you shouldn't really need to charge up that much. Fairy will just give you enough to do another full round of super moves and hurt the enemy pretty badly. Especially if you combine with Rosette to do a Scald Raider once. Switch. It's like, do Scald Raider at least once. And then, like, fill back up all of your main DPS's CPs and go to town. Fairy is pretty good, I'd argue. Okay, so the next one, I'd also say, I'm kind of torn on Aaron. I want to do all the non-awakening ones first, because they're not going to really be in, like, the top amazing tiers. At least not for me. Okay, you know what? We'll put Aaron in solid. I think... Alright, let's go back to the game for a hot minute, because I need to. I'm putting Aaron in the solid enough. Aaron's one saving grace is Romance of the Four Beastoms. This skill is great. Okay, this skill is great if you're fighting multiple enemies. Let me just slot him in.
Here goes.
Honor's mark.
That's the power of the
I'm gonna slot Aaron in.
Thanks, like the gang's all here.
That's a lot of enemies.
Here. Okay, this is a perfect demonstration. So, you see this many enemies? Watch this.
Activating skill.
A private concert to steal your senses.
Pierce. Break. Howl. Dance about. Romance of the Four Beastoms. Test your luck.
Boost gauge limit broken.
Here to help.
You can't hide from me.
Seer?
Okay, I've glazed Aaron for a hot second there. I know Aaron gets under people's skins. I can't say I blame them either. But hear me out here. Aaron is in a decently solid, I think. Like, if you're looking for flavor and also decent effectiveness, Aaron is actually not a bad choice. All things considered. Actually, he might fall into the other tier then, now that I think about it. Because I put it in, like, decent enough. But the one saving grace for Aaron is that, unlike Reen and unlike Kevin's S-Craft, Aaron is not limited by how many enemies he hits. If you hit, like, 6 enemies, no, you're getting that 2.4. It doesn't fucking matter. You're just getting 2.4. It doesn't matter. If you hit, like, 6 for some reason, you get the full 2.5 times multiplier. The fact that he can achieve that is pretty great. And his S-Craft does do a pretty nice amount of damage, so there's that. he's also got a pretty fair self-buff. I know that evade tanking's taken a backseat, but nah, Aaron can do some decent evade tanking. I mean, hell, there's a whole video of someone soloing the final boss as Aaron, so yeah. So yeah, Aaron's actually got something going for him that would make me put him in the solid enough. You build it, you could probably do pretty well with him. Just like how Fairy, it's like, you have to think about Fairy's uses. But if you factor Fairy in, you can do a lot of interesting maneuvers. Granted, I'm saying this like everyone won't just pop Altera and go to town. But Fairy, it's like, you will fight against someone like Ulrika, who might go first and just kind of fuck your turns over with the extra cost. And thus, well, there goes your Altera, and the balance is all fudgy. And so you try to use Scald Raider to fix it, except you're down 180 CP now, so shit, what do you do? And remember, everyone's awakenings cost 100 CP. So, yeah. About those CP costs, guys. Now, of course, this could be all superfluous. I don't think you need, like, the crazy amount of firepower that I'm imagining to win most matches. But, that being said, I'm a Nightmare player. Whatever that means to anybody watching this. Sorry, I'm sniffling a lot. I'm getting sick. Oh, shit. Let's continue on with this tier list. I think Aaron's in the solid. Granted, 4 Beastum saves him, just like how Kevin honestly kinda sucks, but his S-Craft is so amazing. Well, his S-Craft and Nemesis Aura are really good. Alright, let's think of another non-awakening combatant. I'm gonna put Bearguard in this one. I think Bearguard is actually fine if you build Bearguard, but it's like, he doesn't build up Chain that well. His one saving grace is his all cancel, but there's a lot of ways to get all cancels, and if you're really down to it in the garden, Shizuna is legitimately the best all canceller, so yeah. Like, I like the old man and all. I like the whole hard fist fighting crafts, but he doesn't have the extra sauce, the extra zing that brings him way over. So, yeah. Alright, and now for Rufus. I think this is the last, like... Well, alright. There's, like, a couple more for the solid slots. I think Rufus is solid, in that he has 2 of the best supporting things that stabilizes Kevin's route, even though his Avenging Order is kind of misguided, and runs antithesis to how Rufus actually plays. Alright, so... Sorry to jump cut back to the game again, but I guess we will for purposes. Okay, Avenging Order gives Straight. Straight is the opposite of Crow's buff. Azure Resonance, which is Vigor. What does any of that mean?
Round.
Okay, they might actually have it here. Okay, here we go. Vigor. Vigor is more damage with higher HP. Straight is more damage with lower HP. Do you see the problem with... Do you see the problem with Rufus? The problem with Rufus is... this skill, Soul Eater. It heals 20% of your HP. That eventually puts you out of range to abuse his Avenging Order. Because if Avenging Order did work, Hecate and Clotho would be very good builds. Sadly, it runs antithesis to how Horizon works, so... yeah... Alright, so Avenging Order is a bust. But it still gives 3 bars. It also gives a full stack of defense boosts, which helps you survive. This is very important in Kevin's route, where it's very easy to just get outsped and outdone. Soul Eater patches you up, even though... well, it patches you up. It gives 20 CP to Kevin and Swin to do their things. Or Risha, if you opt to use her instead of Swin. So, yeah. Soul Eater, the 3 boost bars you get and the defensive buffs, puts Rufus... I think it puts Rufus in the solid tier. Very good to have, but there are clearly, better choices that outclass him completely. Alright, one more. I don't like doing this to Agnes, but... she also falls into the same category, but she's been dethroned and undone completely as the boost user in this game. Which, you could still fall back on Agnes as a solid mage, but honestly, I'd rather just put, Ren there, or hell, even Rosette there. So, well, Rosette has less magic attack, but she has her Skuld Raider, and Skuld Raider is just dumb. Alright, one more for the solid. I know. This choice is probably going to disappoint. Are Ketra enjoyers even watching this? I hope they don't. Well, I don't know. Maybe this is actually fine. On combat usefulness, Ketra comes with a lot of good stuff, honestly. Ketra has a heal that also heals your CP, just like Nadia does. Ketra has a barrier that gives you a full stack of 1 level of all buffs, which is really solid, and it gives the same amount of shield as Rosette. It also has a decent range. So... wow. All the things I said would probably put Ketra at amazing if you really think about it. But this is also for me. And I value different things than others. But there is a good reason why Ketra really should be on your, alpha/throwaway team at the very beginning of the final boss in... well, I don't know, you could put Ketra anywhere, but I put Ketra in the frontline first team. Because, honestly, you should save your very best for the final. But other than that, Ketra is solid. I think you can make Ketra a craft build if you really wanted to, which Nadia kinda doesn't have. But I'm not gonna be toying around with that to find out. His S-craft is... I don't know about the S-craft, man. We can rate the S-craft next. I think this will be a lot quicker than whatever I was thinking of. Oh, well, we still have to get to the crackpot theory hour. So, hold your horses, friends. Like graphic design is some people's passions, I guess combat is my passion. Shoot. There's a few more for the pretty solid tier. So maybe I'll just quick fire them real quick. Okay. Or do I move Fee and Ren up? They're interesting cases. Ren has probably the best ATS, or a decent ATS speed ratio of all the mages. But more importantly, for Ren, in terms of buildability, if you really want to be a
Leave this in my charge.
Okay, if you want to min-max Ren, it is shockingly easy. I'm about to blow your minds. Boom. Just one Durandal, and you have Buster and Judgment Feather. Crazy, huh? Honestly, the other two parts could just be verses. Or they could be verses if you want, but... There. And you could slot in a verse here. I'd probably throw in, like... I'd probably throw in Misty verse, or... I don't know. Put Calliope here? Or something else if you really want the Earth boost too. Oh wait, actually no, that's a lie. Never mind. Actually no.
Your skills have been updated.
There you go. Optimal. Just optimal. Good shit. Ren is one of few mages with the Mirage lock slot on their arts drive. There's a couple of other people like that, but Ren is really good because her ATS is really good if you build her. Endgame Ren hits pretty hard with her spells. I mean, I guess as it should be. Ren has been one of the best casters in Trails for a very long time now. Like, she was incredible in Trails 3rd. She's really good in Reverie. She was great in Daybreak too. She's still great here. What more could you ask for of, Some would consider her best girl, and, well, I can't say I disagree. But, anywho. Actually, no, that probably would just bring up Ren to amazing tier. Because you can build her as a supreme mage with, like, a shit ton of verses and things. Pretty easily, too. So, where does Fee fall? I'm gonna put her here, too. So, unlike Aaron and Fairy, Fee has one key thing. One thing that kinda... I want to say sort of pushes her combat up a bit. Just a bit. And that is... the stealth. Like, stealth, it's been kinda nerfed from the crossbell days. Since it's not 100% crit anymore. No, it's like... well, it's 50%. So now you need to build your characters with 50% crit to just permanently stealth things. But yeah, Fee can permanently stealth things, which means
Shifting. You look.
Switch. Let me.
hang on. I'm shifting through too many characters. Fee can abuse Kusanagi. So yeah, Fee can abuse this. Fee can milk the heck out of Kusanagi. 100% guaranteed without too much effort to set her up. And honestly, having her really does kind of round out Reen's team pretty well, all things considered. So, yeah, that's my opinion on Fee. The stealth, I think the stealth brings her up from solid to pretty amazing. Even though, honestly, well, we're about to reach the point of busted. But we've also reached the point of really good characters to have. So, yeah. I'm gonna get this out of the way now. Alright, so these two are above Agnes and Rufus for me because... well, actually, no. Elaine might as well be up here. I'm sorry. Elaine, by far, is probably the best supporting character. She's really... we'll explain her in a bit. But let's go to Crow. Now, Crow's problem is that he doesn't have Rufus's heal or a 20 CP regen for the whole party. That's kind of a big blow to Reen's party, where you want to abuse your crafts as much as possible. But Crow's saving caveat, he does the one thing that no other boosters do. He gives Vigor. Vigor, while your team's at full health, buffs your damage by a rough 75%. If anything, Crow and Elaine are part of an elaborate engine to annihilate every single Garten boss possible. They're just that good. They're just that good. You only need one stack of Crow's buff. You can get Elaine's quick buff to make the best out of your Altera command. So, yeah. But due to the lack of CP and HP regen, Crow ranks a little lower than Busted. But he's still really good to have around. Ah, boy. And with that, it pains me to say this one, Kevin enjoyers. And with how I've played Kevin, you would think he'd rank in Busted. But no, he ranks here. Kevin's problems show up in quite a number of fights where you can't really one-shot it. You see, Kevin's main gimmick is spamming his S-Craft, except he's in the wrong game to spam your S-Craft. But, however, Stigma Release lets him just toss it out at 50, which is great, because that means a large chunk of that 50 is already regenerated with auto impression guard. So yeah. And the other thing about about Kevin's best move. Okay. So Spears of Ura and Loa give you an extra damage line for your space and your time element. So since you get an extra line of damage with those, it can also stack with a different element line. They'll stack with the busters you have on. Although for Kevin's case,
I shall see to any maintenance.
you're only getting one buster unfortunately. So, yeah. You're only getting one buster, you're only getting one leg buster. So, that's only 20 extra damage, but that's still really good for Kevin. Ooh. Okay, but other than those two, once you use your S-Craft, I don't find Cherub Shot and Cavalry Bolt particularly strong. His best craft is a Fizz, but this is on a man who you'd rather have as magic build? I need to check how much Nemesis Aura gives. So it's time for some gameplay once again as we test our science. I'm sorry, I'll properly timestamp this video tomorrow morning. I promise.
Here I go.
I'm all over it.
Multiple foes detected. Shall we silence them?
Glowing seal of mine. Grant me refuge. Payback time.
Wrong way.
Right behind you.
Okay, so there you go. Nemesis Aura is actually amazing. It's actually, if you really think about it, it's just a more personalized Grail Spear. And how much does this cost, actually? Okay, it costs, I think it costs like 40... It costs like 45 at max, so you could honestly have this thing on 3 members. And for 3 hits, the enemies can't touch them. That's really big. That buys your shields time. Because I think your big guard goes away first before the shield gets touched. So yeah, no, Kevin's still really good if that's what you want to use him for. But I guess other than Nemesis Aura and his S-Crafts, Bolt is kinda bad, Cherub Shot's kinda bad, Punishing Rage is meh, and your main gameplay is to get enough CP back, so by the time his turn ends, you can just pop a boost and spam and Loa again. And that's what really kinda just puts Kevin a little shy of busted. He's like somewhere in between here. He's almost there. He just needs the sustain. Kevin just needs the sustain. If he had the sustain, he'd be in busted. But I guess this is where I start putting people in busted. Okay, Rosette's up here. It's Scald Raider. There is no more I need to explain. As long as you have her in the back pocket, and somebody starts first, it doesn't matter if it's Ulrika, it doesn't matter if it's like some annoying pest of a boss. If you have someone that starts first, switch Rosette in, Scald Raider, get your whole team up to snuff, use Altera, go ham. Or you can keep Rosette in, and if you have both of the 30 CP stacking accessories, you'll get back Scald Raider in 2 turns, and you can just do it again. Very handy to have. Or of course you can switch someone else out, use Fairy, switch, or double Zoc, use Fairy, switch back in, do things, and yeehaw! Rosette enables a lot of destruction. Alright, it's time to put everyone else here. Oh, wait. I missed Reen. Oh my god. This could not be. How did I miss Reen? Jesus. I'm so bad. Hold on. I need to get Reen back here. How did I miss our man? How did I miss our man? Holy shit. This tier list is going south. Holy shit, I've been yapping about combat for most of this thing. Ah, terrible. Alright, hold on. We gotta make an emergency fix to this tier list. This is not bueno. Not the best image I have of Mr. Chevalier here. Okay, there you go. That's the big busted. I'm sorry that Reen's a bit small, but make no mistake, Reen does good shit. But let's talk about Shizuna first. Let's see. I think Shizuna, of course, she's a Spiri Uni user. She hits pretty hard. Her Gale has excellent hit count to fuck up multiple enemies and grant you the big chains. It also has a generous range. So, yeah, really good chain builder. Oni Kagura hits really hard, or Shiki Kagura in this version. So, why is she a little lower than Judith and Reen? Even though, honestly, I want to say she hits harder than Judith, but with good positioning, I think Judith actually hits harder to some extent, and can sustain more steam to keep going. So, for UC, you have to try really hard to bandage up Shizuna and her crazy CP costs, because it does even out with Elaine, but most of the time, what ends up actually happening when you do like a speed Shizuna build with Nagi is that you'll have a lot more turns than Elaine. So your CP just goes down the gutter, and you're left with like nothing. So with that, it's like, maybe the enemy might die before then, but against larger, chunkier bosses, yeah, it's a bit rough, like, sustaining her and still dealing a lot of damage. But honestly, I think her and Judith are, like, neck and neck in who's actually the third best dealer. Judith. Let's talk about Judith. She's had a glow up. A crazy glow up. Grim Cats is actually really good in this game because Fizz is really good in this game. And Judith also gets a move that's pretty busted. Alright. Time for one more before I need to sip coffee because I'm running out of energy again. This sounds like a lecture on how to play Nightmare, and honestly, it might as well be. It might as well be the average Joe's guide to Nightmare. Judith has Stray Cats. Stray Cats sucks up 20 CP for each enemy you hit. It also gives you stealth. The range is also really good. So, the only lackluster thing about Stray Cats is the damage. But against most normal mobs, you'll probably be fine. Or you could just Stray Cats into Grim Knight Rouge and just kill them all. That's pretty viable too. So yeah, Judith has Stray Cats. But unlike Shizuna, Judith's best move hits pretty hard, but also has a side damage multiplier that you can stack with SCLM and Blitz to do incredible damage. 100k plus even. So, not only that, Shadow Acceleration is actually good to spam too. It's 15 hits per use. So, yeah. What more can I say about Judith? She's so good in this version of the game. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, she used to be just another caster that you could use for the Mirage line, but no, Judith sits up here with some of the best. And now we have Mr. Schwarzer. Mr. Reen Schwarzer of Class 7. This guy's second place. He's so busted. What is wrong with this man? Although, honestly, it's not even the Gale and the Crimson Leaf. No, our big bad skill for Reen. The one thing that just is so ridiculous. Our one big skill for Reen. Oh wait, did I forget Altina? Oh my god. I'm dropping the ball today.
You're out.
I'm losing my sanity. It's so over. It's ogre, guys. I forgot Altina. This can't be. I'm losing it. Let me go try to find Altina then. I might have just forgotten to put her in. No, never mind. I did forget to put her in. Oh dear, I am having a horrible morning. Okay, hold on. I almost forgot Altina. This is insane. Okay, quick fire Altina before I go on a gushing rampage about Reen. Okay, quick gush about Altina. She might not be the hardest hitting mage, she might not have the best crafts. Oh, oops. I need to switch to the other screen. Okay, here we go. The thing about Altina, she has a 5k shield as craft. Use that, use Potter Modder. That's it. You've won Reen's route. It's over. It's so over. You can't win any harder than 5k shields and a 90% damage reduction. Even without the reduction, it buys you enough time to just spam Altera. This shit is crazy. Anyway, back to Reen. Well, back to the game anyways. This is the skill we want to talk about. Pyrograph Slash. It has the same properties as Shadow Acceleration. Less multi-hits though. But here's the kicker. This gets boosted tremendously by Enlightened Spirit Unification. And if you position Reen right at the side and just start spamming this thing, these bosses' health start dropping fast. I've seen this skill do up to like 130k, maybe 150k on an optimal Reen build with Crow. Gross. Just fucking gross. This shit should not be legal. But it gets even better. Reen also has Ashen Slash Luminous Flux. Yep. This skill adds roughly 20 hit counts. Well, it's a great chain builder. I know it doesn't sound impressive, but it also hits really hard, especially with Spirit Uni. And the most optimum Reen gameplay is spam this, use a couple of pyrograph slashes, spam this again, use more pyrograph until they die. And Reen, if possible, is who you really would want as your second DPS most of the time. He's just so good. He's got everything. He can build up your chains with his S-Craft. Enlightened Spirit Uni and Pyrograph will shred most bosses down to size. I want to say Sixfold Gales isn't really that bad either, but it's only 6 hits compared to Shizuna's 10 hit, so kinda meh. Same with Crimson Leaf Blade. But these two skills just really put Reen at the top. This man hard carries his route. So bad. So hard. But he's very sustainable and has uses, like, in combat with his crafts. I guess you could say you could just build Kevin as a mage and he'll probably be fine. But, I think the fact that I don't have to think about what I need to do with Reen really just kind of puts him on the top for me. And we've reached the last bit of our combat list. Van. Well, I don't need to say anything. I don't need to say anything about Van. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, I don't need to say anything about Van. Grendel, 4 actions a turn, that's it. But what really sets him here, Zillion impact, is gross. 30 hits per use. If you combine that with Limited Blaster, Van can just throttle you to 40 hit counts early on. And if you're really all about the hit count, just slap on Regal. What was the move again? Regal Beatdown. Slap that on for another like 30 or 50, and yeah, there you go. Van's the best chain builder, he's the best damager. The man's too good. Every time you have access to Grendel, it's actually just kinda over, barring the finale. Alright, that's enough of my passionate tier list ranting. We are now on the crazy theories. Well, it's not really that crazy, is it? But I want to say some of these theories and guesses are kind of reasonable. Alright, you ready for this one? I'm about to do a really bullshit comparison. But hear me out. Anyways. Oh. Sorry you're seeing me like... I need to turn off this window capture. This just spoiled what I'm about to do for the next topic. Alright. Let's go back to a safe place.
What? 2 goody-goodies?
Let's go back to a safe place. It is time to discuss some theories.
That felt pretty great.
Hoo-wee! That's one for the books.
Yeah, this one's about to be one for the books, alright? One for the books to me in the insane asylum. Alright, who's ready for some cold steel? No, wait, not cold steel. Some theories. Who's ready for some goofy theories? Oh, baby. This is gonna be a little spicy, but not that not that spicy though. Alright, so this is Storm 1 from EDF 6.
Okay.
We're about to go full bonkers. Because EDF 6 is actually very relatable to Trails. Or the current Trails and the Trails of the Horizon. So, let's go to my first theory. This is assuming Yun Kafai has mostly good intentions, and has done several Zemirian loops. Yun Kafai is our equivalent to Storm 1, or the Professor from EDF 6. Who the fuck are these people? Storm 1 and Professor are time travelers, constantly traveling back in time until they can figure out how to beat the aliens. And I mean constantly. They go through like... Well, they don't go through as many loops as Zemiria, but they go through at least... Like... Well... I think going through any amount of time loops is crazy. But they're in a constant war with the aliens of ADF 6 for roughly 9 or so loops of time. Yun Kafai are those two, or rather the concept that they embody, times by 10,000. Why do I think Yun Kafai is the constantly tinkering time traveler? Well, because there's a funny line he mentions, or I think there is a line he mentions about having a memento that lets him, like, keep... Well, I don't think it's letting him keep track of who he wants to befriend, but Yun Kafai suspiciously beelines to befriend a lot of people, not seemingly at random either. They tend to be related to the heroes, one way or the other, or are direct students of his. And he always has a memento that helps him, like, know who to befriend. So, why does he have such a thing? For what purpose is he trying to constantly, like, tinker around with, all these people? Or rather, move the pieces around to try and form a solution or something to whatever his end goal is. Well, yeah, I think Kafai is basically the Professor from EDF 6, not Storm 1. If he were Storm 1, he'd be trying to fight the Septarian of Time repeatedly, but that hasn't happened yet, no. If anything, you could argue that, depending on how many loops this has happened, Gramhart might be our Storm 1. Maybe. But Kafai has something that is resistant to the resets, and maybe that's what's helping him, like, just... It could honestly be the Omniscient Eye. I have a theory that the Omniscient Eye is actually maybe impervious to the time resets, or at least very resistant, which is how Kafai makes all of these calculated moves. He must have knowledge from some of these other loops, or maybe even previous incarnations of Kafai. Let that one sink in a bit. I'd like to say that's a good theory. Alright, here's a crazy one. A super what the fuck one. So, you know how Cold Steel 1... Cold Steel 1 and Cold Steel 3 have a cold opening where there are just... It's missing some people. What if those were actually a different timeline? And what if that timeline led to the end, or something that facilitated Sophie and Lilia using their Claudel powers to buy us a little more time to correct things? What if those are related? Because if you think about it, those are set up in some weird ways that might just be alternate timelines, where things probably went wrong for the heroes. Real bad. Like in the Cold Steel 1 timeline, I think Crow might have actually just fired the cannon. And, well, shot Osborn, I guess. Although Osborn would actually be fine due to all that Ishmelga shit, everyone else there dying might put a huge wrench in the world in some way. As for CS3, I'm not sure what's the implication of missing members of Class 7, but who knows? So this next one is less of a theory and more of a question. Just how many loops has Kevin discovered Excalibur? That's like a big one, since, it's only been twice now, but who knows how many other loops have had the Church discovering Excalibur, or some equivalent, since artifacts are assigned the loops fucked up. What does that make of things like the Sonorous Shell and, the Sonorous Shell and the Chrono Rod? Were they from a fucked up time loop? Makes you really wonder, why is the Church confiscating all of this previous loop tech? Will the humans find the answers a little too early if we had full access to all the artifacts? Gets the noggin a-thinking. And speaking of artifacts and things, no, never mind. I lost my train of thought. This next one is just tossing a dart in the dark. A dart in the dark. But hear me out. Grandmaster, Kafai, and the Church are in a bizarre secret alliance regarding the loop. Maybe. I think they're all kinda working towards the... Actually, no, never mind. I'm gonna debunk that one myself. The Church seems to just want to lead the world to the end peacefully. Grandmaster is probably actually trying to break the loop somehow. And so is Kafai, so if anything, it feels like the Grandmaster and Kafai would actually be in cahoots. You would think this would mean he'd join Ouroboros, but I guess Ouroboros just isn't the place for him. Alright, here's a good one. Here's one that I don't think you'll hear from pretty much anyone else. The Claudels, and by extension, if we go with the Claudels are clones of Sheena Dirk. Sheena Dirk was a magician from either a different branch of magicians related to time, or rather, no, magicians related to the Time Sept that are offshoots of the Hexen clan, or something equivalent to the Hexen clan. Like, think about it. There's a Hexen clan for fire. They have the gnomes for earth. What's stopping them from having a magician faction for time? And what if Sheena Dirk was part of that time clan? Same with all the Claudels. Since they're cloned from her, they must have some of that time magician blood in them. Because magic is suspiciously absent from Calvard. Or more absent than it should be, and I get a feeling it's gonna come back in full force in Horizon 2. So keep that in mind. Maybe Sheena is actually from a clan of magicians. Big maybe, though. I need to slug. Another one that's probably more of a guess from me than anything else. I think Roselia, Zeit, they might be aware of the loop. I know that Ragnard certainly is, and this game has painted a very interesting light on the Happiness Stone door in Sky Third. Surprised you didn't think that one would be coming back, now did ya? But I think in some way, Roselia and Zeit are probably aware of the loops. And Zeit has been mostly passive until the SSS. I wonder if there is a reason behind that. As for Roselia, I don't know, I just feel really bad for Roselia. All of her friends just keep her in the dark, when she could possibly help a lot more and end things a lot sooner. But that's going into writing gripes, and we don't really have too much time for that. Now, another question that I have as a result of the ending is... Say that Kafai's apprentices are a constant. Would that mean stigmas are also a constant, where it chooses the same people every loop? Or could there be different loops with different people with stigmas? Like, maybe there's a loop where Gaius actually has the stigma right away instead of getting it from Bearguard. Or Reen has a stigma, who knows? That's more of a question, though. But it's a good one to kind of chew your head on. Like, are the stigmas a time loop constant, or do they change every loop? I want to lean towards they change every loop, but I don't know. If something like Rufina is the Vestige we fight as Kevin in the next game, that might end up confirming that it's probably a constant in some way. Whew. Alright, the last two are a little more obvious, popular fan theories, I think. Originally, I thought Yun Kafai might be the Beast of Time. He also has a craft about a monkey. But... honestly, I think Mare is the Sept Beast of Time. Now, what kind of beast she is, I don't know. They could honestly go with a horse theme, and I'd believe it. I mean, the name's right there, Mare. So, yeah. Huh. But yeah, I think out of all that, it's been a bit of a mishmash of questions and theories. But the craziest theory I have is the Cladells are definitely... well, the Cladells and Dirk are a time offshoot of the Hexen clan. Like, I'd like to believe in some crazy fanfic where the Hexen clan were one clan before the Septarians, but then they all split up into different factions to watch over various Septarians? Maybe that is actually the case. That would be crazy to think about. And this brings up another interesting theory. Like, what is ancient Zemirian civilization? Originally, I was gonna say, maybe civilization in Horizon is ancient civilization. Because I think they've mentioned ancient Zemuria having a lot of advanced things. And we're only catching up to them now with quartz. But what if it's more of we're catching up to our previous abilities from previous loops? It's not catching up with ancient humans at all. It's catching up with ourselves from a different future. And trying to one-up ourselves from a different future. This makes me wonder if Epstein was a constant figure for every loop, or maybe in a bunch of different loops, it was a different person who realized the world's in a loop. And maybe that'll play into the next game. But there's so many questions and speculations with Horizon that we could be here forever, but I think I'd rather wait for Horizon number 2. So I think that's the end of it. I know I hyped up the theory. I guess I ended up being very passionate about the combat list more than anything, because that was probably my favorite part of this game, to be honest. But, let's see. I think on my docket, I already talked about structure and plot at the beginning, and I think I already said my best route. I want to say the best route for me, in terms of structure, gameplay, and everything else, I think it was Reen's. You find out big revelations per chapter, you get cool, sick fights in all 3 of his chapters, and there's good bands, good relations, good CEs. The Reen route is a good balance. It's not too meandering, and it's always kind of pushing towards something, even though in the grand scheme of things, Reen and Kevin kind of do jack squat. Van's route came the closest to stalling the president for another shot at the reset thing, or stalling out the president's rocket launch to come up with a better idea. But alas, our man's fumbled the bag. And we're down to our final segment. I have a song in mind to try and play, but I need to figure out the rest of the verses. I'm also running out of breath and running out of things to talk about with Horizon, since I think I've really said my piece for this whole endeavor. So, this last one is... I want to say it's also for the audience. But it's more so for me, I guess, since this is the next cover. Okay. I might need to pull my mic off and do a bunch of shit, so... Let's go to the filters. Alright, let's disable noise suppression. I think I'm gonna play a few verses, but I also need to like turn off the music for this. I just liked having this as the visual. I guess in a way it's like I'm doing a bootleg video essay. That is just my jumbled ass thoughts. Now, hold on. Alright, I think this is a sign I should probably rest soon. So, let us try to figure out Megumi no Uta. Yeah, let us try to figure out Megumi no Uta. That's gonna be the last thing for today. So, let's go. Okay. Okay, I think that's the furthest I've gone with Megumi no Uta. I guess that's not too bad for a first outing. Actually, let me hear if that actually came through. Sorry for all my ranting. Okay. Okay, no, it came through. Okay. Let us try to build the song, I suppose. Oh wait, did I mute my mic and audio? Yeah, I muted my desktop audio. Shit. Okay. I need to see how the other parts go. This might be a bit of a process. I want to get at least the first verse for you guys before this ends. We'll have a full version this week, though, don't worry. It'll probably be part of my debut week song, if anything. I mean, I guess it's kind of fitting. I'm going beyond the horizon of PNG tubing. But, Okay, sorry. I got a bit distracted there. I need to go listen to Megumi no Uta for a bit. Like I said, we were gonna have something where I try to construct the song on site, but oh wait, actually no. I guess I could just listen to it here. Because, well, we already have the credit sequence, although I'm not putting you guys through that again. That's just too heartbreaking for one day, so yeah. I want to see if I can construct this one before we go. Who knows, I might construct the whole song if I try hard enough. Big maybe, though. I'll have to mute the desktop audio, so... Again, for those of you who are still around, thanks for sticking with me. I know the combat rant was completely unhinged and probably went overboard compared to what I thought I would talk about, but I guess that is one of my favorite parts of Trails after all. The combat keeps me coming back, even if it is easy to, snap in half. Oh dear. Debut's gonna be a mess tomorrow. If I'm still sick, that is. Hopefully I'm not, though. Or hopefully I'm not getting sick. Oh. Alright. Hopefully my YouTube's still running. Because the other YouTube says I'm not connected to the internet. So it's like, what the fuck? What do you mean I'm not connected? I can go on every other website. Maybe I should turn the... Oh, wait, right now. This is locked to desktop. Shit. I was about to turn on the game OST, but then I realized... Well, maybe we could just listen to Megumi no Uta. He'll probably be fine. I'm sure this is just Firefox being strange. Okay, I'm gonna try to whistle this. This might fuck up. Okay, so how would that translate in harmonica? Let's see. We're almost there. It's just a little hard to figure out. But I might have enough time to do the final verses too, while we're at it. Because it goes like... From here it's like... Da 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 da. Do 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 do. Wait, I don't think that's how it really goes. Never mind. I'm being dumb. Ooh, I think I kinda have it. Okay, but I think I've got enough of this song to kinda make sense. I'm running out of energy here, so I can only make one pass at it, and after that, I'll probably just, I'll get going, I'll keep crafting throughout the week, and we'll see a full version by... give it Monday. Give it Monday. I'm tired. I really shouldn't be saying that, but it has been an exhausting day. And part of my foot is, or rather, part of my thighs are nearly sunburnt. But that's besides the point. Anyways, let's make one more pass at Megumi no Uta. Oh wait, that's not it. That took more out of me than I thought. First, trying to think of the notes. Second, trying to play these notes in a coherent order. It looks like I have a lot to do on sprucing up this Megumi no Uta cover, but I suppose this will be the final thing for Trails Beyond the Horizon. And this, sadly, might be my final discussion for a while on Trails Beyond the Horizon. I'll toy around with maybe making a dedicated essay about going through all of Trails on the Nightmare difficulty, but I guess we'll see. So, this concludes my small... I say small, but it's been like 3 hours and 20 minutes plus of just purely yapping about Trails. No gameplay, no filler, no nothing. Do I have any last words? Oh yeah, right, no. The NPCs. I wish... It's like, I think... If I had to think about it, I find it exhausting to talk to all the Calvert NPCs, but I like a rough 80% of them, so... I like roughly 80% of them, and a good, 50% of those are, romance subplots, but then you get some cool ones, like Jed and his parental situation, Lakshar's whole story. There's still a lot of good stuff here. So, yeah, overall, I want to say, I hope the next game runs around a little more than Edith, and just save Edith for, one chapter and not 3 chapters in a row. I think if we had to do Heimdall for 4 or 3 chapters in a row, I'd probably be sick of NPC rounds as well. But that's my hot take on all this. Don't worry, I'll properly timestamp this thing somewhere in the morning, but until then, thanks for listening to my ramblings. I know this isn't exactly a full, functional, action-y stream, although I guess there was more action in it than I expected. But that's all I really have to say. Horizon was fun. I'm going to have post-Trails depression, and I'm gonna miss playing this series until September. But it's been a fun ride. And if I had to do all of this again for some reason, I probably would. But that's the end for me. I will see everyone tomorrow for my model, proper introduction. It's a proper introduction, it's no debut, come on. But no, it'll be a proper introduction to this model, and I don't know, I guess some plans going forward, possibly. Or just the streaming game, or game streaming plans. Yes, it's another chat stream. Don't worry, Thursday is back with games. Friday is the conclusion of Yakuza. I'm gonna be taking, I'd like to say, a well-deserved rest for Saturday and Sunday, but we'll be back on Monday with... Oh no. Damn it, OBS, why'd you disconnect? Okay, but yeah, tomorrow, another chatting stream. Maybe you'll learn more about me, maybe not. Maybe I've said everything I could have in, 2K videos. Even though I didn't say much, but still, I'm not that much of a chatterbox. I'm more of the push-the-button guy, if anything. So, that said, it is time to go. And it is time for us to bid farewell to, Horizon. I'm gonna put back on the music, though. Because you know what? I might not torture you guys with the image of the credits, but I'll torture you with the song. Not that one, even though that one's good.
つ紐解いていけば私たちの罪最後の時星に帰